Stay connected as we discuss shared passions and firsthand experiences intended to enlighten, entertain, and encourage you to try new things. This is not a how-to, this is a why you should. Welcome to the You Should podcast. Welcome to the You Should podcast. If you're new to the show, we start every show off with a different beverage. Today we're drinking Chapman Craft Brewing. This is their Cloud 9 Hazy. We'll let you know about it here shortly. Today's guest is not defined by fitness. He defines it. An entrepreneur and gym owner, he's inspired countless people to chase their strongest selves. He's conquered over 40 marathons, each one a testament to his grit, discipline, and relentless drive. At home, he may lose to his competitive wife, Jen, while playing board games, but in life, he always plays to win. The proud father of 2 boys, he balances family, business, and the pursuit of greatness with humor, wit, and humility. At the piano, his hands create music. In Cabo, he finds his peace. And in country music, he finds his soul. Today, he joins us not as a guest, but as a reminder of what passion, perseverance, and purpose truly looks like. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Mr. Mark Gonzalez.
Well, all right. Can I have that intro every day of my life, please? She beat me in a board game last night. I was like, hey, can we, it was last night or the night before. I was like, can we have you want to play a board game? She's like, yeah, we played cribbage. She beat me so bad. She beats me all the time. I try so hard. Had one weekend in Mexico. We were playing a rummy cube and she beat me like 19 games in a row. And I started getting mad. She's like, I'm not going to play with you if you just getting mad. This is supposed to be fun. Can't help it if I beat you every time. That's how the story goes.
It's fantastic.
Put it on a repeat.
I would imagine a competitive wife, it's always great watching her compete, just not against you, right?
I love to compete against her. It's so much fun. You know, because we're both fair.
Sure.
There's no cheating. And she just legitimately beats me. And it's just, I'm not a loser.
You need to accept, right? Accept
I
reality
can
on that one.
accept the losses. I just want a W, please. She's going to love this part.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, my wife played, you always have to say D1 volleyball.
Oh.
And she's competitive. It comes with the board games. It's funny how the board games can draw out the best and the worst of you all in like 5 minutes. So dude, we are pumped you are here. So
right,
I don't know if Mike told you, but you have been on the board since I'm not even joking, since the inception of this, as far as, hey, let's just put people we love to have in. You've been on that board. So I feel like this is a huge milestone for us, getting you off we want to have you as a guest list.
Well, I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me here. We were working on the dates for quite some time. I'm on game for everything. Let's go for it.
Should we do the origin story?
It was a wet, misty morning. It was June 1st, 2009. We were at a park, and that's how it began. And here we are 16 years later. We just won Best of Orange. Every now and then I'll try to like compartmentalize and look at where I'm at, what I've done, what I have, what we put together. And it's like, I really can't believe it. Okay.
So we wanted to start out, I'm starting out in fitness. For someone that's been inactive for years, maybe they are in their 40s or 50s or even 30s, they worked out in their prior lifetime, they're sedentary now. What is your recommendation? How do I take that first step?
You can do whatever you put your mind to with the right motivation. And it all starts in your head. You got to know what you want, why you want it, what you have to achieve when you do accomplish it, and what you'll have to lose if you don't accomplish it. And then you got to think about it and really think about it, write it down. What does it mean to you? And then therein lies that's where you find your motivation.
So when people come in and they have different things they want to achieve or they have different fitness goals, do you work with that and try to set them on a program for what their
absolutely
goals are?
Yes. And everybody's different. So what we try to do is find out from day one is why are you here? In the waiver, it's a questionnaire like, what do you want to achieve? What can we help you with? Because we can.
So if I came in and said, hey, my doctor says I have high blood pressure, and Mike say, I want to, get really strong to be able to do
absolutely
whatever, right? There's going to be 2 different.
Yeah. And fitness is, unless you're training for the Olympics, this general is great, move your body, and to answer your question, what would be the first step? Move your body, take a first step, walk around the block. Right. Be safe about it, check with your doctor,
But Mark, I think that's good. The realistic starting point,
Yeah.
right? Because I think a lot of people get intimidated. If I join a gym, I can't run the treadmill for 40 minutes, or I can't do this. Am I going to look stupid walking into the gym? I haven't worked out in years. Like, what is that realistic starting plan for someone that
Good question.
has been inactive for years?
Accountability and having hopefully that person, whoever that is, has a friend or can make a friend. That's what we try to do, is build relationships at our place, Hit the Mark Fitness, because nobody wants to work out alone. I mean, some people do, but if this is your struggle to get started, I don't know where to begin, then ask. There's 50 places, I'm sure, in a 10-20 mile radius that can help somebody get fit. But to get started, walk for 10 minutes, and then make it 20, and then progressively overload. Add some squats in there. Very simple. You don't need any equipment. Do some push-ups from your knees. Hold a plank. Don't get hurt. Do some simple stuff. I mean, in my head, I'm imagining some 600-pound person, but I'm just trying to. It's a 40-year-old, someone who's never active. We see that all the time at the gym, and it's like, okay, well, with welcoming arms and opening arms, here's what we're doing, and here's how we do it, and now let's see you do it, and great, keep doing that, and let's do more of it, and as we get better, let's make it harder, because the movements are simple.
Right.
You squat, you flex, you extend, you rotate with resistance, resist movement. Simple.
Right. And I've probably, like all of us have, I've done 4 or 5 stops and then started again, a couple injuries here and there.
Oh, yeah.
And when you haven't worked out in 4, 5, 6 months, that getting back into it, that is a barrier. Like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to go in and do what I could do, right? I'm starting from zero again. And then there's that, I was here and now I'm here. And I think to your point, even if it is start out with 10, then 15, do that a couple of days, then get to 20. And you're on that road, right? You're on that path. And I think I would say one of my biggest strengths is just consistency, right? It's a marathon. And I'm not trying to, like we always say, you cannot go into the gym and see results the first day, the first week. But if you do it consistently over time, I think a question I would ask you is, do you see people getting frustrated where I'm not seeing the results I feel I should see in whatever that time frame is, and then they fall off? And you're like, man, you were on such a great road.
Absolutely. We have people from all walks of life and all great people, and everybody means well, but the formula is simple, and a lot of people like to complicate it. And we have to get past the excuses we make up for ourselves in our head of why we can't do what we want to do, which is why we try to have people literally write down these goals. What do you want? Okay, let's bridge the gap from where you are to where you want to be realistically, and then let's reverse engineer on how we can do that. And it starts with the very simple: move your body in challenging ways, in various ways, under tutelage, and a great eye, and where you're motivated and in a space that is safe, surrounded by people who want to encourage you and who want you to succeed. And that's what we do. And that environment is out there. People will take that step. And some people aren't very social, and it's okay to be vulnerable. And what we find is people walk through the doors and they're like, oh, I was so scared and I was so anxious and thought you guys were going to be so hard. You guys are so nice and you're so good looking. Just kidding. And no, everybody's
so good looking.
Everybody's so nice and welcoming. And I make it a point to introduce everybody to everybody daily, obnoxiously. Mark, of course we know each other. Great. Just making sure.
You know what's funny? My kids always talk about that. They hate that when, school just started back up and the teacher's going around, introduce yourselves. Even as adults, I still hate that. I don't want to have those introductions. I don't want to say like, oh, I'm Mark, right? But however, it makes a huge difference. It builds that community, right? I learned something about you.
Yeah.
Right? What'd you do this summer? Oh, I went, whatever you did, right? You're starting to build that community and the friendships. And
names are sacred. Yeah. That's one of the most important things people like to hear is their own name. Somebody tells you their own name.
Right.
And that's Dale Carnegie. How to Win Friends, Influence People. That's how our business is built. How do you win friends and influence people? It's very formulaic and strategic. And when you do it and practice it, it's like, wow, this is the best way to live life. Winning friends and influencing people.
He didn't say hi to me the other day, when I was in the gym. He walked right by me.
No, that never happens.
Mark didn't acknowledge me.
No, that never happens. I say hi to everybody every day. And because it's like cheers, you want to go to a place where everybody knows your name. They're expecting to see you there. So we got to cultivate an environment that's warm, friendly, welcoming, supportive, encouraging, all the things that would make somebody and everybody, and myself included, feel like, wow, this is the best place ever. Right. I don't ever want to leave. Can I say it for another one?
So,
and not do burpees.
Everybody hates burpees. The thought of like, I'm just starting out, right? So I went for a walk and now everything hurts. So maybe they say, well, maybe I shouldn't walk because it just hurts when I walk.
Yep.
And I think I heard it at a gym was, the motion is the lotion.
Mm-hmm.
Like as you get stronger, those aches and pains start going away. So the difference between, something hurts versus something that is hurt.
Yeah. Yes. I talk to a lot of people every day about stuff like this, and was it immediate hurt? Was it an acute injury? Did it just happen? Was it a pop? Were you running and you fell or something? Or is it did you wake up? It's kind of been bothering you. It's getting worse. It's not getting better. There's one of my backgrounds is in physical therapy. I was going to get my doctorate, but I was like, I'd rather just be an entrepreneur. And here we are. But I went to school for a bunch of stuff and worked in the field for a few years, and it's the same injuries. It's the same stuff. The bodies are the same. The stresses are going to be with our lifestyle. We're all sit in box cars. We're all sit and eat. We all sit on a computer. We're all sitting on a couch. We're all doing the same motions and or not doing the motions like climbing, lifting, pulling, pushing. And so our bodies atrophy to it. And then you have issues with the body in the same spaces. And it's just a matter of, barring any acute injury like a torn muscle or ligament or something. It's just imbalances with too much of one thing and not enough of the other. And
yeah.
So I sit in a cubicle all day. I type for 8 hours. I'm on the phone and
sit in the car.
My shoulder hurts, my back hurts, my neck hurts, my knees hurt. But I have aches and pains that I'm attributing to being older, and really it's the sedimentary lifestyle.
Oh yeah,
that's contributing to my aches and pains.
Oh yeah.
And then you think, well, I can't work out, I can't move because I'm always achy. And it's really, if you would just move more, those aches and pains would all go away.
Oh yes, motion is lotion.
So I was listening to a Joe Rogan podcast. I had an Achilles injury, wore the boot, got through that, and I said, you know what? So I was running a lot. And a lot, I mean, maybe 40, 50 miles a week. Nothing crazy, right?
That's a lot.
But 3 to 6 mile little runs. Good. But anyway.
Where to go?
So then my Achilles started hurting. I kept going. It hurt more. It kept going. I crawl into the doctor's office, right? She's like, oh, well, and I'm 50 at this point. She's like, oh, Mark, how much water are you drinking? Again, the doctor just asking those general questions. I'm like, well, I don't know. Obviously not enough. And the next question, how often do you stretch? And I'm like, this is doctor patient. I've never stretched in my life. She's like, well, what did you think was going to happen? So anyway, I get through that and I'm listening to Joe Rogan, and David Goggins is on there, and he's talking about, man, I had no cartilage on my knee. And I just kept running. So I said, you know what? I am going to go David Goggins. And I started running again, and it was horrible. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not, I'm not going down that road anymore.
He'd build different. Have you read his book?
Yeah. I mean, that guy is so legit. It's not even funny. It's not even funny.
I applaud that. I applaud him.
Yep.
He just did another 200-mile race or 150 or whatever it was.
So I've been getting into on Instagram a lot of those ultra marathon guys and just following them. And
Rich Roll. Have you read his book? Rich Roll.
Rich Roll. All right.
That's his name.
Yeah. But just knowing what you can do. Right. So I always laugh every day. So my wife got a Peloton during COVID, which a lot of people did. because I was running at the time. So now that's what I do. And every day when I get on that thing to do 20 to 40 minutes, I'm like, I hate this thing. This is so every day. Again, when you're dripping sweat and you get off, you're like, you never are upset for a workout you did, right? It's the best feeling when
Absolutely.
I get off of that thing and I've never sweat more than being on that thing. It's just such a great feeling, And so
you got room for a treadmill.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a treadmill and a Peloton.
Yeah. But what's the difference? I mean, again, I'm worried about just the banging of like the lower back and the running and all
Well,
that.
yeah.
Stress. I mean, the Peloton, maybe my back a little bit, but it does feel good. Like I don't feel.
Well, Peloton's definitely no impact,
Mhm.
and running is full impact.
Yeah.
And if you're not warming up, cooling down, stretching, hydrating with electrolytes, and including at 40, 50 miles a week, that's a lot, I feel, for anybody,
Yeah.
unless you're running in the Olympics. Okay. And
I wish I consulted you before I started
you have
running.
to stretch, even if you just did. Well, you have to warm up. I mean, because if you don't, you'll get injured.
So that's
You'll
a great
feel
point.
it.
If I'm starting out and now I'm getting onto my fitness path, there
Yeah.
are certain steps if I take
Yeah.
will give me a better result.
Well, every body is different. Some people never stretch, never have any injuries. I worked with an NFL guy, Champ Bailey. He never stretched.
Yeah, that was sick, dude.
His
DB,
flexibility.
Broncos, yeah,
I
awesome.
mean, it was great working with him. And I had another great athlete at the time. We worked out together, and he was on another level, but I couldn't touch his toes.
Right.
I was like, okay, well, let's stretch. It's like, whoa. Okay, then I'd stretch him. I was like, okay, well, it doesn't need to. I'm just stretching him to move. Like let's make sure there's no deficits. Let's make sure everything's moving right. Okay, and then it's amazing what he could do.
So that leads me to another question. What is a realistic workout routine for a total beginner? How would you set that up for someone that came in to hit the mark and I want to get into fitness, but I haven't done anything?
Okay, so we had this conversation today in the office in a little meeting we had. It was about making what we're doing personal for everybody, personal training in a group setting.
Because you want them to stay with it, keep coming back. You want them to push through that.
And everybody's
initial...
on different goals. Some people are running a half marathon next weekend. Some people are doing high rocks in a couple months. Some people are doing Spartan. But a squat is a squat is a squat. But you can make squats easier. You can make them harder. You can make them faster. You can make them with more power. And then knowing everybody and knowing what everybody's goals are, you can figure out, okay, well, calm down. You just ran a half marathon 2 days ago. Let's do bridges instead of squats. Okay. And over here, you should do jump squats and go grab a 20-pound dumbbell.
Yeah.
Okay. And you should do 50 of them right now, all body weight, because you're 5-0 and you're already halfway to the ground. And then there's your people on their first days, like just sit down and then stand up and see how you do. You're going to be sore, after your first day, even if you're a good athlete, because we're just working on getting stuff. Or maybe you won't be sore if you're a great athlete because your body's conditioned. Great.
I think we should touch real quick on like ego, right? So you're starting or getting back into it, right? Either one. You've never done anything, or you were in your prime years ago and now you want to get back into it. Ego.
Were you the starting linebacker of your high school football team, Mike? That guy?
I was not. I was a soccer
No,
player.
I'm not saying you. It's just the guy you're referring to, though. Like, I have this ego.
Yeah, Polk High.
You've seen those guys, Mark.
I see it all the time.
So now they're like, okay, I'm motivated. I took the first step. I'm going to a gym, right? Then ego starts screwing with your mind because you're like, well, I could throw 50s. And you kind of look around and you see this young, pretty girl and you're like, well, she's throwing around 40s. Like I should be able to throw around 45s at least. But she's been putting in the work for the past 4 years, right? So really quick, you realize, okay, ego is not my friend when I'm getting back into it. You really need to reset your expectations.
Absolutely. I tell people, I see people this all the time. This is the guys that come in and I say, hey, look.
You give them the hey man speech?
I take everybody aside on their first day. And this is one of our spiels that we do. We say, we want you to leave today feeling accomplished, not demolished. And that's in how you perceive the workout. It's going to be tough. You're going to be sore. If you feel like you want to go for it, but be mindful. Like you don't have to go for it. Definitely don't keep up with everybody because you see this 70-year-old person right here. She's here every single day and she is so strong and she will not stop and she will lead the class. And she doesn't look like she can lead the class, but she will. And if you try to keep up with her, you will last 6 minutes. And I've seen that happen.
For sure. Absolutely.
I have to tell, when women would bring their significant other and the guys are coming in and I got to tell them, hey, look, don't keep up with her. okay? Because she's going to show off right now. And I know, because we're men, you're going to try to beat her, okay? Because you should, okay? And I've seen guys just like, okay, I got to go sit outside in the curb. I'm like, bro, that was a warm up.
Right.
Yeah.
7 minutes, okay? And it's really tough because I'm in the same boat. If if I was in that position, I'd be like, hell no, I'm going for it. Watch me. I mean, that's just
Right.
that's just me.
Yeah.
And I know I could do it.
Right.
But some people just need to
But if you want
calm
to work
down.
out at a C level,
Oh yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that, right? And I think
Yeah.
that's like everyone doesn't, to your point where I think you're going, Mike, is you don't have to work out at this A+ level, right?
Well, you just look around. You look around trying to figure out, where do I fit in?
Right.
And you're really judging books by their cover. So, like, shout out to Sharon, right? Like, ain't nobody keeping up with her. Little Mina, like, no one's keeping up with her either. So you're looking at these women and what they're throwing around. You're like, okay,
yeah,
you can't use what they're doing as your benchmark, because you'll get crushed.
Yeah.
Crushed.
Yeah.
So
shout out to them.
As I get back into working out, how big does nutrition play in all of this, right? So again, my diet's not that good at this point. I haven't really been working on that. Now, as I start to work out, how do you pull that nutrition back into?
The good thing is the body adapts to any demands you put on it. And what does your body need? Water, vegetables, fruit, and you should have protein. Everything else is superfluous. It's unnecessary. Tastes good, and it satisfies you for a little while. And when the beer's ice cold and it's hot outside, it's okay to have it, and that it all adds up. And nutrition is extremely important if you have a specific goal. It's not ideal to live without any of the delicacies of life,
right?
And unnecessary, I feel, because you could still be healthy and have steak and a glass of wine and a beer here and there, and that's okay too. But for the person starting out, or the 40-year-old athlete, you can't be eating crap and expect to feel great. You can drink water with electrolytes, get sleep, eat food that is fulfilling and beneficial to you, and feel phenomenal, but you don't know the difference until you do it. And when you're in that bubble, it's unstoppable. And once you get out of that bubble, like we were touched on earlier, it's hard to get back on it. Momentum gathers in either direction.
That is such a great point. I mean, I think that is the crux of all this.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're right. When you're eating good and you're working out, you feel that your body really is going. And then the same thing, right? When you're not working out and you're eating like crap, and you just kind of, you're just in that.
Yeah. So again, still focusing on someone starting out, what is to set an expectation, right? I'm eating better, not perfect, but I'm eating better. I'm making healthy choices, and I'm moving more. I'm working out. What is the realistic expectation to where they could expect to finally feel like they're in the bubble and get that momentum to continue on? Because I think a lot of times people like start it, and then like 2 weeks in, they're like, well, I'm a pound heavier than when I started, and I've been, eating salads every day, and this is crap, and I'm, screw it. I'm going to go back to doing what I was doing before because I was happier.
Great question. I think a lot of people underestimate how much they eat and how many calories they eat. And once you start to really look at meticulously what you're putting inside your body, you'll find that, wow, I'm eating a lot more than I thought I was. Oh, it's only 110 calories. Yeah, but per serving is 4 chips and you had 26.
Right.
Okay, like, oh, I'm just going to have a glass of wine. The bottle is made of glass, and that's what you counted as a glass of wine. Okay, let's be honest. And you had dessert while you were eating it.
Right.
And, on top of it, it just builds and builds. And nutrition is very important.
But you would never tell anybody they can't go to In-N-Out, right?
I've told people not to go to In-N-Out. Yes.
I mean, I can't. I mean, This is blasphemous. Wait, where
but
do
I
you
love
live?
In-N-Out. I live right down the street. I love In-N-Out. I go to In-N-Out weekly. I love to get the protein style, and I love to get the Flying Dutchman. It's a lot of calories, but it's a lot of protein. And I love the bread, but I don't need the bread. And I'll split the fries with my 4-year-old, and I don't need anything to drink but water.
I think that's it. If you portion correctly, you only eat what's in front of you.
Yeah.
That's another thing I notice, right? So if you go half sandwich, you're just eating a half sandwich. And then before you know it, you're on to the next thing, right? It's just, you forget about it.
So what I'm hearing is I can make better choices and still enjoy some of the things I do. Like I'm not getting the Coke. I'm only eating half the fries because I'm splitting it and I left the bread off the burger and got it protein style. So I'm still scratching the itch. I'm still satisfied. I got that treat.
It's a start.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
just a start.
it's
We're
a
still
start.
starting.
Yeah, I mean, if someone's got to lose 50 pounds and you want to lose like 1, 2, or 3 pounds a week,
Right.
there's varying levels
That's a different,
of discipline.
Yeah, right.
Correct.
That's a different
And
program.
but trying to live like that long term I think it's foolish.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not trying to diss anybody that wants to eat perfectly all the time. So what I like to tell people is, look, you can either do this or not. And if you're going to do it a little bit, if you're going to be halfway in, you're going to get half of the results. But if you want to lose 20 pounds in 90 days or 6 months or whatever your time frame is, whatever we think is possible for you, like I'll tell you, you can do it. Here's how you do it. We try to make it reasonable. And you're right. It could start with, okay, maybe I'll stop drinking Coke. Maybe it's just Diet Coke. Maybe you stop drinking soda altogether and just drink water. Maybe you're not doing drive-thrus, okay? And if you are, maybe you're just getting salads.
Right.
And then maybe on your lunch breaks, instead of just sitting on your phone for 45 minutes and eating for 15, you go on a walk for an hour. And in an hour, you can do 3 miles if you're hustling. And then therein lies could be the difference. Maybe you only have 5 dinners this week instead of 7. Maybe you, instead of having 400 calories in your coffee every morning, you just have an iced black coffee. And it all adds up. It's caloric deficit to lose weight.
I mean, Mark, what you just said is gold. That is the most amazing thing I've ever heard is, I don't need to go from 2,200 calories to 400, but just you start shaving, right?
Yeah.
If I shave off a little here, a little there, right? My net over time is huge.
Yeah.
And I'm able to keep it going, right? Because I think a lot of people is like, I'm not going to go from my diet to just eating 8 chicken breasts a day.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I was with the kids and I think we were at the doctor's office for a doctor's appointment. We had to go up to like the 4th floor.
Oh,
their-
you had to go up to the 4th floor?
4th floor for their whatever their appointment was. And so like they both walked over and like stood in front of the elevator. And I was like, well, what are you guys doing? And they're like, well, what? And I'm like, see that door right there? It says stairs. Like, we're going to take the stairs.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, why are we taking the
stairs?
stairs? I was like, because we can.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
save the elevator for the people that
Absolutely.
have to take the elevator. Like, there's nothing wrong with you. Let's go.
Yeah.
And so we took the stairs up and they were like, well, this is stupid. Honestly, now we go places and my son will be like, all right, well,
Good.
like he's not looking for the elevator every time. He'll look and be like, oh, stairs? Right.
Right.
Yeah, let's take the stairs.
Absolutely.
So again, those easy choices, right? Like
yeah.
after dinner, sit on your phone or should we just take the dog for a walk?
Yeah.
It's better for your dog. It's better for you. Like go
Yeah.
out, get some sunshine.
Yeah. If you're going to watch, this is how I feel. Like I'll sit on, if we're going to watch TV at night together as a family, I'm not going to sit on the couch, lay on the couch on my phone. I'm going to sit on the floor and stretch.
Yeah.
Or if we're going to watch a show, maybe we're on the same show, maybe we're not. Maybe Bluey's on one TV, reading a book's in this room, and I'll be in this room on the Peloton for 30 minutes watching last night's episode of whatever it is.
Real Housewives. You can say it, Mark. You can say it.
Well, I don't think people realize how quick 20, 30 minutes is. I mean, it is the blink of an eye. Even if I do a 20-minute Peloton, I mean, it is so fast.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get on there, whip out some emails, shoot them out, do some text, like end of the day, right? But 20 minutes goes by in the blink of an eye. I think my workout regimen is not right to do that. I'm thinking long term, right? I know I'm going to hit like my 10 to 12,000 a day. I live 4 days a week, right? And I just kind of have that. And if I do that over 30 years, right, the next 30 years, that's for me, that's good.
That's a great vision to have.
What are common mistakes beginners make when they're starting out? Right. So if I'm trying to restart my, working out, getting in shape, just being healthier, right? What are some common mistakes you see?
People overestimate how much they do and underestimate how much they consume. And I think if people get it real with themselves and write it down with somebody who can look at the numbers and scrutinize them and be honest with themselves about what they're eating. I like to tell people, keep a diary of what you're eating. You can do it on MyFitnessPal, or you can write it down. Let's review it. Be honest, be accurate, and let's be an open book and be open and be invulnerable to change. This is how change happens. And people think that they can accomplish too much too soon with not enough effort and commitment and discipline. You know, your intake and your output. And your body is just a sponge of whatever you put in and your output. And maybe your sponge, your body is holding on to a bunch of stuff. Maybe your sponge needs to go through the dishwasher. You know, maybe it's time to, well, I guess you can't just replace your body, but you gotta, I never used that analogy before.
Maybe in 10 years we'll be able to, but
oh, well, you know, they're coming up with
it's
stuff
coming.
all
It's
the
coming.
time. I can't tell what's real or fake anymore.
We might be the first generation that gets the replacement. I think we're going to be right there. Like it's going to be
The head transplant?
yeah. Like if we can make 90, if we can hit 90, I think it's going to be like over the next 50 years. I think it's going to be right there. Where
It's really exciting to think about what I like to think like that. Well, what's going to happen in the next 50 years? Let's look back 50 years.
right,
Insane. And in 50 years, I mean,
Yep.
who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
It's a who knows. Yeah.
I love to think that big outside
Yeah.
the box like that.
So, Mr. Ban, what did you think of that Chapman?
Yeah. So Chapman Brewing, we're drinking the
Cloud 9
Cloud
Hazy.
9 Hazy.
Their
6.9.
9-year anniversary.
So as far as hazies goes, I think Mark had said it, it's juicy, right? So you're getting a lot of juice flavor up front. It's sweet, not too sweet.
Yep.
But there is some bitter on the back, which is bringing some nice balance. Yeah, super approachable. Yeah, I could drink these a little heavier. I'm not drinking a bunch of these, but yeah, I super good. I would order.
All
another
right.
one.
So, according to Mike Band's rating system, a 6 or an 8, because so Mark, you don't know this, but Mike will not let you say it's a 7.4 because like, well, everything's a 7, everything. So we have a disagreement. I disagree with that. But as far as your rating system, are you going to go 6 or 8?
Yeah, I'm going to go 8.1 on
All right,
the Cloud
you're giving
9.
it a 0.1. I like that.
I would go above an 8. But again, only knocking it because it's a little heavier on the hazy side. So I can't have but a couple. Like if I'm out at a restaurant eating dinner, like I'd probably put maybe 2.
I would agree with that. I think that's perfect.
Yeah.
You know, drinking those. And I'm a big fan of the Zodiac series. So that's one of Chapman's hazies that they always do, which I love. I think that is such a great hazy. This is really good. I think how you described it is 100% on point.
So Mark, 1 to 10, you can't choose 7.
I'm giving it a 7.3, but go ahead, Mark, whatever. And you know what? You're a guest of the show, so you can say whatever you want. You
as
don't
long as
have
it's
to
between
be
a 6 and an 8. Well, yeah,
I
6 or an
like
8.
this beer. I like a lot of Chapman Crafted's beer. This one is brand new, and the ones that I like always sell out. I like the opt out side and the scenic route.
Yeah, opt out again. That's a great West Coast, solid,
exactly.
just very consistent.
Yes,
yeah, I love that one.
And the 56 panel, or the panel 56.
Oh yeah, right.
And I just want to drink that one.
Yeah.
Like that's my favorite beer that they make, and they'll bring it back every now and then. I'll go around to a restaurant and I'll see it and I'll get it and I'll pull it and I'll that's the one I want. But what would I give this
If
Cloud
you're putting
9?
that up against other hazies, not West Coast or pale ales or anything else, but as far as a hazy goes, on a scale of 1 to 10,
You know, I like a juicy hazy, but you're right. I can't drink too many, and if I'm gonna have beers, you know, because very rarely, what beer am I gonna have?
Right.
I can't drink too many of them.
What are you giving this
Mike's
one?
not gonna like this score, but I'm gonna give it a 7.486.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's in there. I think it's a good hazy. I wouldn't say it didn't stand out to me in a way where like, you know, it's one of my favorite, but all day long I could
like
drink
my
it.
hazes. I prefer my West Coast IPAs.
Right.
But when this one came, because it came unlabeled to us before they even released it, and I was like, "What beer is this? I like this beer. I didn't know what it was. Yeah, I like it. It's not too sweet, and there's a little bit of bitter on there.
Yeah,
and I like that it had a little sweet in there.
Yeah. All right. So rounding it up.
so Mike's giving it an 8.
Chapman Brewing.
Yeah, Mark
Here
and
in
I are
Orange.
at 7.4s, which we like. So this is I would absolutely drink this.
Yeah, I would recommend it. If you can find it, you should definitely pick up the Chapman Brewing Cloud 9. Yeah, I thought it was
Check your local listings. Void where prohibited. Must be 21 years or older.
All right, we are back. We are going to put Mr. Gonzalez on the hot seat. Are you ready?
It's getting heating up in here.
Favorite cheat meal?
Cheat meal, pizza.
favorite supplement of choice?
Protein powder,
Most overrated exercise?
sit-ups,
Most underrated exercise?
plank.
What's your go-to pump-up song before you're going to work out?
I like Lupe Fiasco's The Show Goes On.
What is your dream fitness challenge?
A challenge? I mean, I love a marathon. I'd love to be able to do an ultra marathon. I used to think about doing it, but I got to get on the marathon train again.
Who in the fitness world inspires you?
Well, I love David Goggins. I like Jocko. I've read both their books. And I like Bedros Keuilian. I love him. He's great. He was my coach for a while. Great guy.
If you could close down your gym for one day and you were going to work out with one of these guys, who would you pick?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Dude, I agree. That is the answer. All right. Cardio or weights? You can only choose one for the rest of your life.
I love cardio, but it should be weights.
I agree. I go weights. One piece of gym equipment you can't live without.
Ooh, I would love a double action cable cross machine because you can do everything with it. But I have a treadmill, and if I only had a treadmill that worked and always worked with a TV right above it.
You go treadmill?
Yeah.
If you weren't running a gym, what would you be doing?
If I wasn't running a gym, what would I be doing? I have no idea. A musician.
Mark Gonzalez, you are off the hot seat.
Woo. Is the AC on in here?
So as we alluded to, we've been talking about how do I get started. So now if I'm started and I'm on a good run, how do I go from being active to being fit? Right? I'm taking that next step. I want to go from just, maybe walking around the block or doing some workouts here and there. Now I want to be fit. I want to take that next step.
Well, I think it's imperative to know where you want to go and have something in mind. Like you want to begin with the end in mind, as Stephen Covey says. He says, where do you want to go? And then we can bridge the gap from where we are to where you want to be. Being fit is vague. It's like, what do you want to be able to do? Well, where are you? And so we'll do benchmark. It's like, well, what's your mile time? How many pull-ups can you do? How many push-ups can you do? How many burpees can you do? Just general fitness tests of like, what is being more fit mean to you? And then trying to put it into numbers and showing you can get better at all these things. You can lose weight. You can drop inches in your waist. You can be more fit. And we can track that. And here's how you do it. And to level up, I think it's hard to do on your own and by yourself without a coach, somebody saying, hey, you've been using the same weight, doing the same exercises for the last few weeks. Let's level up, try heavier. Let's make it more dynamic. Let's do a few more, stay a little bit longer, do a little bit more because you can. And then you're able to, in the same amount of time, fit more and more and more and more and more and more and more into it. And then you're more functional, you're stronger, you've got stronger heart, you've got more endurance and more flexibility.
That's such a great point. When you do push yourself to that next ridge, right?
Yeah.
Or to that next goal, it's such a great feeling.
Hard to do it on your own unless you've got specific goals that you're working towards and a guide, or you put yourself a guide on a progressive overload type of plan. Like, okay, I want to be able to bench 225 pounds. Okay, where am I? How much can I bench now? Okay, well, let's, build up to that. And you can.
Yeah. So in preparation for the podcast, our research team scrubbed your Instagram account. And I think one of the coolest quotes I truly have ever seen is you said, what you eat in private, you wear in public. And I mean, dude, Mark, that just hit me, right? So elaborate on that, because I don't even want to make what I think, but like give us the background on that, because I think that is so powerful. I mean, it really did stop me. I was like, damn, that's good.
Nothing tastes as good as fit feels. And I know that I'm conscious of it, eating a few cookies at night. I'm like, I'm eating this in private and nobody knows it, and that's okay. But I'm wearing it. You're wearing it, and then your body is keeping track and the toll and the scoreboard of your calorie intake and caloric output. And so what do you want your scoreboard to show? And, you have to be honest with yourself and have some vulnerability and humility. And this is what we have quote of the days and tell people some quote or something to think about. And this is a recurring quote that we use, which it's not my quote. But what you're eating in private, because if you're not losing weight and you're putting in this work, and if you're not in a caloric deficit and you're gaining weight after whatever, something's happening. You're either, and there are multiple people that I could think of in my head, but it's like, you can't drink wine every night. You can't drink beer 5 nights a week. You can't, have 4 meals a day every week, only working out 3 times a week with 45 minutes at level 5 out of 10 level of effort. You've got to do more, either more output or more or less input. And it's very possible. And as far as, eating in private, a lot of people have eating issues, closet eaters. I used to work in fast food and I used to see people like order food for themselves. I'm like, bro,
Yeah, I bet. No, I bet for
this
sure.
this is not. And I've watched like Biggest Loser. I just love that show. And it's like, wow, here diving deep into people's psyche and issues, coping mechanisms, like food makes me feel good. Well, exercise can give you the same effect chemically in your
Right.
head.
I mean, nothing feels better than when you finish a workout, those 2 minutes post workout, whatever it is.
Yeah.
God, that feels so good.
Yeah, it's everything that's happening in your head chemically and all the hormones that are released and everything. And it's very simple to replicate. It doesn't have to be food and or alcohol. It could be exercise,
Right.
weightlifting.
Yeah.
You just have to choose to do it. Is it easier to sit on your butt, wave your hand and get a glass of wine and a steak exactly the way you want it? Yes, while you're sitting down. You don't got to hunt for it. You don't got to grow the grapes. Just a $100 bill or $200 bills, and you can have whatever you want. Exercise, you got to sweat, you got to work, you got to choose, you got to decide, you got to do laundry. It's going to hurt. It's going to be tough. You might vomit. You're going to be sore for days. Fitness is a hard sell.
Right.
And if you want it, you can have it. You can have whatever you want.
So one of the things, as we all get more serious, we do take nutrition and diet more seriously, I feel like, right? At least I do. Mike and I looked this up last night, is the U.S. supplement market is a $70 billion a year industry. What supplements do you recommend for guys in their 30s, 40s, and 50s? I mean, what is your take on that? Is it worth to spend all this money on supplements? Are there certain ones that you've seen that are more beneficial? Because I think that's so hard. We see, I need to take protein and creatine, and I need to have all my electrolytes and my hydrators, and I need to have this, and that. Now, as a guy, I need to, like, for longevity, right? And joint strength and all these things. I mean, again, I just threw you a massively loaded question, but what is your take on supplements?
Great question. If we only ate what the earth provided naturally, we would have everything that we need if we ate a variety of vegetables and fruit and ate meat, which you don't even really need to eat meat, but you could. And we're omnivorous and we have the teeth for it. And meat is meat. Fruits and vegetables are fruits and vegetables. Everything else in the grocery store is fake. It's just processed and made to last longer on a shelf so that you can buy it and make it taste good. And that is not, your body is a filter. Your body is a sponge. Your body will process it, but it's taking the toll. And your body is keeping score, and so is your liver, and so are your kidneys. And it's not having an impact. There's stuff that we put in our foods that we should not be eating, and if people knew, they would not eat it. So supplements, protein, there's various macronutrients, but for a guy, you need to have protein intake. You don't want to lose muscle mass. You lose muscle mass every year that you get older. You have to eat protein, but protein is beneficial for you it's more beneficial for you if you're doing resistance training, which doesn't require much. It could be 20 minutes 3 times a week if you're doing compound movements, and it could be very simple. But supplements, creatine allows you to do a little bit more, and there's studies that show it's, good for you mentally as well as physically. Protein you need, and greens supplements are great. There's a bunch on the market.
So the one supplement I do every day, and I've done this the last 4 years, is athletic greens and a little dab of creatine. And I always joke because I've been sick. I would always get sick twice a year. Again, the head cold, right? The stuffy nose, the sore throat, the annoying cough. It lasts 2 weeks. But since I've started, and again, this could be a total placebo effect. But since I've been taking those every day, I've been sick one time in 4 years. And again, you're the perfect person to ask. That's my daily routine. I get up, 6 a.m., boom, do that first thing right off the bat. And again, I'm like, well, it can't hurt me, right? I think a lot of us think that way. Well, it can't hurt.
Yeah.
But is it, should I be doing that? Right? Because I'm like, instead of a multivitamin,
yes.
that's my.
I say absolutely yes. Like there's documentaries on the blue zones in the world, and it talks about like, oh, well, they eat these foods in high in antioxidants,
Mhm.
and this is part of their regular diet and has been forever. Not Cheez-Its and goldfish and all these processed foods that like, oh, they're good. And yeah, we'll get them and I'll have some and everybody will have some. It's like, should we
Right.
be eating them? No. Should we be eating acai and dragon fruit and all these organic fruits and vegetables? Yes. Creatine, greens, absolutely necessary because nobody eats enough fiber unless you're eating enough fiber. And fruits and vegetables have all the minerals and nutrients that you need.
Yeah.
A daily vitamin wouldn't hurt to take.
Right. The other thing I noticed with the athletic greens is, I don't know how to say it, but my poop has never, I mean, it's so lame, but it's just so good since I've been doing that. And I know, again, it has a
gut
lot
health
of
is
that.
real.
The gut health. Because they keep adding stuff, right? Like, oh, this is the new thing. They'll add it in there. But yeah, that's been amazing.
Yeah, gut health is absolutely important. Taking those Yakults, we do that. My wife is all into nutrients. She'd be the one to ask because she takes so many supplements. I can't. It was like, what are you doing? Should I have some of this? Put some in can you just make one for me?
Well, I think
Great.
that's it, Mark. We get bombarded with that. And it's so right. You could have 30 supplements every day. And I feel, just again, from where I'm at, being your average fitness guy, that's too many, right? But what are one or two that the best bang for the buck, right? So if I do these couple things, I know I'm going to get a good.
Well, I think everybody should have greens, and everybody should have some sort of vitamin C supplement. And and anytime the body gets sick, it's not because you contracted something. Yes, sometimes, but you're always being bombarded with germs and bacteria and virus that are trying to take your body over the threshold of, okay, now you're sick. And that just has to do with what state is your body in? Are you hydrated? Are you well rested? Are you able to fight back because your body is strong? Or are you weak and don't work out, don't move heavy objects and sleep all day and eat poorly, fast food and drink soda and drink alcohol every day and do other stuff that doesn't make you better? And it's a conscious effort, who do you want to be? But you have to have that conversation with yourself,
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. So another thing we hear a lot about recently is cold plunging. We hear benefits. And again, I think all of us, as we get older, 40s, 50s, hey, I feel great. Is this a fad? Is this legit? Is this going to go by the wayside like so many other things? What is your take on the cold plunge?
I've only done a cold plunge at the spa when it's like, okay, go from the hot pool to the cold pool and then back and forth.
I like that.
And it's not my favorite thing to do. My wife loves it. She's all about it. And I'll do it once. And I'm like, that's intense. I think it's a great exercise to use if you're trying to build discipline. Like, go sit in an ice bath for 3 minutes at 4 a.m. or 4 p.m. Doesn't matter the time. Go do something uncomfortable that will immediately change your state and bring you to the moment and the present and get real with yourself. And if you can choose to do that over a consistent amount of time, choosing to do something that is uncomfortable for your body, you will build up some resilience and grit, and that's beneficial, I feel. As to the physical benefits, yes, it could help you reduce inflammation and all the stuff that Wim Hof says. I don't know what's real or not anymore on social media because of AI and people just post clickbait. But I was like, I thought I saw somebody, and even if you just say, "Oh, I read a study" or something that says, like, okay, cool, but it says if you're doing regular ice baths, it inhibits to a degree your muscle growth, your hypertrophy. And I was like, okay, well, that's pretty, that sounds pretty legit, but
Right.
is that really a study? And what are the parameters? And, what are they eating? What are they weightlifting? What's their regimen? And how long are they
No,
in
it's a
here
great
for?
point,
How
right?
often?
If I'm still eating in and out, right, twice a day, and I'm thinking the cold plunge is gonna somehow be this miracle.
Yeah.
So the flip side of that is we always hear the sauna, right? So hey, I'm gonna cold plunge and then I'm gonna sauna.
Yeah. I like the
Again,
sauna.
do you like that more than a cold plunge?
Well, there's various studies on sauna. I think I don't know this for a fact, but I think there's more studies on the benefits of sauna usage versus cold plunging. And they say a regular sauna use can make you so much healthier, longevity in life. And I mean, I know somebody who like, oh, I'm going to the gym today. I was like, okay, what'd you do? I was like, oh, I sat in the sauna. I was like, that's better than nothing, but don't tell me you went to go work out at the gym and sat in the sauna.
Right.
Uh, you know who you are. And, but it's great. But supplementary, I mean, I can go in my garage at noon on the treadmill and it's a sauna in there
True.
and get the same thing. I want a sauna
Or
because
come do a podcast and it feels like a sauna.
it's kind of warm in here, but that's okay.
It would have been unbearable, Mike, if we didn't.
Good thing we have these ice cold beers in here. Thank you, Chapman Crafted.
When it comes to lifting weights, there's, you think bench press, you think leg extensions, you think like the machines at 24-hour fitness.
225.
That's right.
245.
It's all about what you can
That's
bench.
always been, I feel like, the guy's benchmark. How many times do you do 225?
Working out at Hit the Mark was always about what I would consider like functional movements.
Mhm.
It's picking up a heavy weight and twisting and throwing it. It's compound movements. It wasn't about, that number of how much you can bench. There's sometimes that's coming into play because as you get stronger, you're realizing like, oh, I can use a heavier weight, but it wasn't your traditional weightlifting movements. And for me, it seemed to be more beneficial as I got older. So
Yeah, well, you got muscle men in the gym that can't hold a plank or can't run a mile or can't, do stuff that a normal looking person can do. Like they may not be able to bench 250 pounds where this person can, and you look good. It's like, okay, everybody's got different goals. I think it'd be kind of boring if we just did bench press and squats every day and deadlifts every day. And nothing wrong with that. Like what's Hit the Mark fitness models? Like we want to be open to everybody, whether it's a 15-year-old athlete or a 70-year-old.
I think as we get older, lifting changes because when we're in our 20s, we all want to bench, right? And we all bench and we did these certain exercises that, again, when you're 25, it's a lot different than when you're 45 and 55. And again, what's that approach? As I age, I still want to lift. I still want to have that. And how do those exercises change?
They're probably not as heavy. And, when you're 20, you can go to the gym off of Del Taco and 4 hours sleep and go bust out a 2-hour workout
Ain't that the
and then
truth?
go home and take a nap and not have to worry about anything. Whereas as a 40-year-old, you got responsibilities, you probably got a family, you got a job, you probably got a lot going on, you probably have a social life if you're not in a relationship, and trying to fit in a 2-hour gym session 7 days a week would be amazing.
Right.
And I think everybody could benefit from that mentally as well as physically. And it's just not really feasible.
So let's talk about that. People that are super busy, right? So I got kids, I'm running them all over, school, sports, whatever. I got work, I got commitments, I got this, that, and the other. There's no time for me to work out. There's no time for me to cook, 3 square meals from scratch with wholesome vegetables. Like it's, breakfast is a Pop-Tart, dinner is some hamburger helper, right? It's super processed because I don't have the time and you don't understand. Like I don't have the time. This is how life is. How do you,
I think that everybody has 20 minutes. Nobody can deny that.
Everybody's busy and everybody has 24 hours in a day. It's what you're doing with your time. Not that what you're doing with your time isn't priority. It's really a priority issue, I think, where it's like, yes, your family's important. Yes, you have to work. Yes, you need your sleep. Yes, all these things are important, but what also is important is you. And depending on what your priority is and what your values are, if you value, like they say on an airplane, you have to help yourself first before you help anybody else. And you got to make sure you're solid and setting a good example and being there for your family. And if you're not taking care of yourself, you're not going to be there for them. And the best way you can take care of your family is if you take care of yourself, because then you have your health. Health's the real wealth, and you're setting a good example. And there absolutely is time. You don't need a lot of time, eating. I mean, even if you just fasted, you'd lose weight. And then exercise doesn't have to be more than 20 minutes a day. You should warm up for a few minutes and then make a real complex workout. Ideally not with a beginner. You want to have a trainer, but if you got money, you're spending money on stuff, prioritize that money, allocate that money to go towards something that's going to benefit you versus something that's going to entertain you for a few minutes.
That's such a great point. I mean, that's so good. So good what you just said. I mean, if people just listen to that from this entire video, I feel
don't
like
just listen to it,
but that's
put it into
right.
action.
That's a massive nugget right there.
Yeah.
Most important health fitness tip for guys in their 40s and 50s that want to continue to stay in shape, right? So I'm already working out. I have a good routine going. I'm working out 4 or 5 days. I'm pushing myself. What would you say to that guy to just continue on? Like, what are some of the most important tips you would give them?
I think a lot of it has to do with how you see yourself aging. What is the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years like? One of the best exercises I did wasn't even a physical exercise. It was from my professor, Ken Revisa, in college. And he said, get a piece of paper out, write a horizontal line across it. Okay. And on the left side, put down you're born and you have your first day of school. And then, you had your first kiss and get your first job. And then you got your life happens, and then eventually it ends. And then what happens between that dash? And what are you going to do with what you've got? How do you want to be remembered? And what does your life look like? And this is an exercise in who do you want to be? You can be whatever you want if you decide now and then pursue it. And be mindful that your mortality is real. You will die. You don't know when. Because you can think you're going to live till 80, maybe you're going to live till 45, maybe you're going to live till 50, but maybe you're going to live to 100. What does that look like? What do you want it to look like? What does your health look like? Your life, your relationships, what does that look like? If you draw that picture out for yourself, I think you can achieve it, because what we focus on, we move towards. And if you have a light at the end of the tunnel and it's what you want in life, you can have it. If you know what you want and then take actions that align with that path. And, everybody.
It's so true. I approach everything like that. It's steps. Some are 4 steps, some are 400. But if you just start, whatever that is, like exactly what you were saying. I mean, if you can just start on that path.
Getting started. And you can't, nobody's great at the beginning.
Right.
All right. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
So we wanted to talk about why fitness is better with others and what makes Hit the Mark different from a big box gym or just working out alone.
I think that one of the benefits of having a group atmosphere fitness is you have the camaraderie, the support. The advantage of working out in a group would be like, okay, everybody here is friendly. They're looking forward to me coming tomorrow. They all welcomed me into their tribe. And
how does group training build accountability and consistency?
Camaraderie, community, culture. You know who you're working out with. They expect to see you every day. And like I said, I like to introduce everybody to everybody every single day. So there's no doubt that you know who you're working out with. And, when you are in the trenches with somebody, you bond with them on a certain level, whether you're speaking with them or not. It's like you both are going through, hell, quote unquote. And then you're coming together on the other side of it, and you feel great on the other side of it. And next thing you know, you're friends.
And do you think being, having that group accountability and being part of a team nets greater results? Have you seen that?
Yeah. So, the results of fitness, there's a lot of benefits, not just 6-pack abs, not just better health functionality, but social, at least at Hit the Mark Fitness, where you're going to know who you're working out with. They're going to know your name. You're going to know their name. You're going to know when they're showing up, and you're going to expect to see them. And that camaraderie and that accountability is so valuable, because then you are part of something that needs you to a degree. And when you feel like, oh, this is where I need to be today, this is what I need to do, I need to go work out, they're expecting to see me.
Right. So, it hit the mark. You have this amazing community. People are involved, right? They love that family community environment. What role do challenges or runs or events play in your gym?
We definitely have community events annually, and it is part of our annual strategy and plan, where it's like we're going to do 2 to 3 5Ks, try to get everybody out. We're going to have about 2 to 3 parties where we get everybody together and not work out, but feed them, do some sort of fun activity together, get a group photo, and let loose a little bit. Like, go to the Angel game every year. We do that every year, and 300 or so of us sit together, tailgate together, and let loose together. I think it's a crucial and fundamental in building a community and culture where people want to be doing outside stuff, not just working out, not related to the gym.
Right. And if anybody listening wants to reach out and become part of your program, how can they find you?
You can find me on hitthemarkfitness.com, Hit the Mark Fitness on Instagram, Facebook. You can't not find us. We're just one best of orange. We've been here. We're not going anywhere. Better recognize. Results guaranteed.
Results guaranteed. Love that.
Dude, I love that. That's super cool.
All right. Is there anything you want to add, Mark? We've covered
Well,
a
now
lot of
that
ground
you've
tonight.
asked me,
I want to say that this was so much fun, and I feel honored and privileged to be able to be welcomed onto the show and to share with you. And next time, hopefully, we can open one of these pappies.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We hope you got something out of this. Whatever your level of fitness is, we hope you're willing to take the next step into making that better, whether it's getting off the couch or taking it to the next level if you're already active. Until next time, thank you.